We're out here with the cows and it is still cold. Even though the sun on this side feels kind of warmer, but this side's kind of freezing a little bit. But I wanted to show off, this is the cow feeder. I mentioned it yesterday. And so we're hoping this will help with the utilization of the hay. And they are using it up there. We have another one over here. Maybe we'll go over and check it out later. But I wanted to talk today about one of the ways that we're making your food as healthy as possible, because it not only is good for you, but it's also really good for the soil. You might hear some people talk about how grass-fed cows or grass-fed beef isn't as what do they say, the carbon footprint, or isn't as healthy for the land as it's claimed. And that's what I kind of want to talk about a little bit, because there's a difference between grass-fed beef and pastured beef. So I guess you have three. You have grain-fed, grass-fed, and pasture-raised, pasture-fed beef. And pastured is like what we do. And so, every day or every other day, depending on how much they're eating at a time, we move them into a new space. And so we gave them a new space. When was that? It was Tuesday. So on Tuesday, we gave them a new area. And then on Monday, probably Monday, or whenever they run out of this bale of hay, we'll move them into the next area. Now, during the summer, of course, we move them every day, but in the winter, with the feed not the way it is, we move them a little less often. But that's what pasture raised means, is that they move like they're always on the move. In a place no more than a week or so or whatever. And this is good for you and for the soil, because when they're moving, it keeps them from getting parasites and other sicknesses from being around their poop all the time, because that's the life cycle of a parasite. Is they get in and then they lay their eggs, the eggs get pooped out, and then they need to be ingested again at that point in order to complete the life cycle. But where the cows are moving all the time, of course in the winter we don't have to worry about the parasites, but in summer and stuff, where they're moving, they don't come back to their poop for 6 months to a year, like that same spot. And by that time, that poop has been broken down by birds, by insects, and so we don't have to worry about that. And that poop also fertilizes the soil, so it makes the soil healthier, it makes the cows healthier, and by making the soil healthier and the cows healthier, that's healthier food for you and your family. And so pasture raised is the best. Like, you can't get any better than that. It's good for the soil, it's good for the animals, it's good for us as people, and it follows nature's way of movement. And grass-fed cows, though, then this isn't always, this is usually when something says grass-fed, it means that they are in one field, maybe like, let's say like this one big area they have, just that one big area the whole time. They may not get moved as often. They may stay in one area for months at a time if they get moved to a new area. That's I don't know. It depends on the operation. And so that's why those cows might be fed a little bit more antibiotics. They might have more health problems. They're going to overgraze. And when they overgraze, that's going to damage the soil. And so the plants, when they have the roots on there, when they eat that down, if you do what we do, where they move, they eat it down, and that actually strengthens the plant, because the plant's like, oh, we got eaten, we gotta spread out more. But if they eat the top part of the plant and then come back and eat the rest of it, that damages the root system, and then the grass, it has a harder time growing. It doesn't do as well with the CO2 to oxygen, you know, like taking it in, releasing, creating that oxygen. It's not as good for the nutrients in the soil. It's not as good. And then they often, and you can see the cows laying right there. If we were to leave them here for a long period of time, they would lay in this area and poop it. You know, some poop is good, but too much is toxic. Like most things, too much is a bad thing. There is such a thing as too much. But this isn't a big deal for us because they're going to be moving on. And so they're not going to damage this area. But when cows are in one area for a long time, they're going to damage it. They're going to create problems. And so that's why pasture raised is the best. Now, we use the term grass-fed for our beef on some things because people understand the basics of grass-fed. So we like to put grass-fed and pasture finished, you know, to help people understand that, yes, our cows are out on green, but the pasture is the big thing, that pasture finished. And that's why we named ourselves Sunny Side Up Pastures, is because of the meaning with the pastures. And also on our logo, we have the plant with the sun and then the roots. Those roots are so important because everything starts in the soil. And Stan sent me a great article about soil health and linking it to human health. And I don't have it on me right now, so either when I get home, I'll pull up and we can talk about it, or I'll bring it up another time. But everything starts in the soil and those roots, and that's why we wanted that in our logo, because that is so important. And then, of course, the plants, and then the sun. We used to say that we got the energy and we used like the solar power, but people kind of misunderstood what we meant. So the sun is free energy, especially out here where we get lots of sun. I mean, we have some clouds today, but usually it's a blue skies a lot of the times. And the sun is that free energy, and so we harness the power of the sun just by letting it do its thing, by feeding the plants its energy. And then by doing that and by not damaging the soil biome, the ecosystem down there, it creates a healthier environment, which then makes the plants healthier, which then passes that along to us through the cows or through gardens. You know, the power of the sun. And so in our logo, that's why our logo is the way it is because that is the most important part of nutrition, of our foundations as humans, and for the cows. The cows are important, but the most important thing are the plants and the soil. But again, those need the cows in order to, it's just a big circle of life of the plants feed the cows, but the cows also feed the plants with their poop and stuff. Yeah, so just realize that, and everything depends on you. Some people don't care and they're fine with grain finished beef. It's usually going to be cheaper. It's not going to have the same health benefits, and there's a lot of different things, studies and stuff when it comes to grain finished. I still believe that when you eat stressed food, you're taking that stress on yourself. It's a spiritual aspect. It's a deeper aspect than just food. You know, that saying, you are what you eat, it came from somewhere. And so grain-fed cows are usually going to be more stressed. They're going to have some more health problems because of their living environment. But if that's what you want, that's what someone wants, that's up to them. You know, we're in a country where we get to have options and get to have those choices. If you want something a little better, a little healthier, grass-fed, that's the next option. It's going to be a little bit more expensive, but there's a reason for that. Usually there's not as much subsidies going to grass-fed operations, and because there's a lot of subsidies in grain-fed, both with corn, both with beef, and that's why a lot of times beef will be so cheap. It's because of subsidies. And so it's pretty much just government handout for that, and we want to get off government handouts. Anyway, So grass-fed is a little bit better, but it's not the best. It's going to still cause some damage to the land. And so the best is pasture-raised, whether it's beef, pork, chicken, lamb, doesn't matter what it is, pasture-raised is the best. Because the cows are going to be healthier, they're going to be in a more natural environment, and the soil's going to be healthier. We're actually giving back to the soil. We're trying to build it up instead of just taking it all the time, taking its nutrients, taking the plants off of it. We're leaving some. We're giving back to the earth for it to continue its cycle. And there's a lot of extra health benefits that come from pasture-raised, pasture-finished cows. That in the meat, meat is known to cause cancer. And there are some studies out there that show that pasture-raised meat actually has some antioxidants in it. Nothing compared to maybe like a blueberry or something like that, but there are some healthier things to it. There's the omega-3 to omega-6 ratio is higher. You have more omega-3s, which are really good. You got linoleic acid. Usually it's leaner. Our cows are fatty, but not all fat is bad. Especially, I'm really excited for the springtime, so I really want to show you guys in the springtime, the fat is yellow, which is awesome. That is one of the ways you can tell if a cow is truly pasture raised, is with yellow fat. That usually only happens in the springtime with that fresh stuff, but the fat is usually a different color. But the fat is healthier, it's leaner, and just a lot of great qualities, and there's so much to it. So anyway, that is the breakdown from grass-fed versus pasture-raised. And really, the thing is, it's just getting to know the farmer. If you want to know how an animal is raised, it doesn't matter, like, you can read the website, but the important thing is to find out how the farmer treats the cows. What are their values? What do they want to accomplish? For us, we want to accomplish a soil that is healthy. It's a chocolate cake consistency almost. It's going to be dark and rich, and it's going to smell amazing. We're not there yet. It's going to take us years, but we're working on it. We're trying with cover crops. Our goal is also to create the healthiest, happiest, stress-free cows. And by doing that is by letting them feed off of this healthier plants that come by not putting chemicals on it and pesticides. I will say that you should never use them. Maybe there's a place for chemicals and pesticides, but that's not our goal. Our goal is to completely get off of it. You know, every year Stan has done less and less and less chemicals, which is awesome. That's our goal because we want more natural, healthier food that is better for our bodies, it's better for you, and that's why we want to be your rancher. We want to be your farmer. We want you to know us so you know and can guarantee that what you are getting from us is the best. All right, let's go take a look about the cows with this feeder. Oh, are you so bored? Are you so bored? Yeah. The cows are pretty nervous about this this tripod I have. They're not sure what's going on. But you can see there with them reaching in through there to get to the hay. And it looks like we might have to break it off and try spread it apart so they can get to it a little easier. But it's not bad for them to work for it a little bit. Oh, so we talked about how the cows are a little too fat. And maybe, I don't know if I can get a good picture or whatever of, especially with the black cows, it's kind of hard to see on the camera how they look. But, so you can see No Name right here. She's really full, like in the brisket there in between her legs, and her tail head, she's just really round. So we found out that's too fat. So she needs to go on a diet, like probably the rest of us on January 1st. But, diets are not healthy. A lifestyle is healthy, but that's a whole topic for another time. Let's see, do we have someone? Winnie is so distinctive. It's her ears. Her ears are just so big and fluffy. Like, everyone kind of has fluffy ears, but hers are like legit hairy, and they're so big. She's kind of adorable, like a Mickey Mouse cow. So right there, that's Winnie with her Mickey Mouse ears. I don't know how close she'll let me get to her with the camera. Sometimes I can get really close to her. But this new setup, and anytime they feel any like close evaluation, they get a little nervous. I don't know how much you can see. And so if you follow her head down, you kind of get to her stomach, and there's a little bit of a divot, and then it comes up to her hips, which on cows is hooks and pins, but we're just going to call them hips. And then there's a little bit more definition on her tail head. And so instead of being round on the tail and the spine area, there's a little bit of a drop and then goes out. And when we were filling her, the vet had her in there. I think it was Winnie that he had in there. Yeah, I think it was Winnie. Oh, it was Winnie. Okay. Anyway, she has some like meat and fat areas like around her hip and stuff. So even though to Stan and I, we thought she was too skinny, the vet said this is perfect. So on a body condition score, he said I think she's about a 5'6", 5.5", we'll say, which is perfect. And so that's just what we want all of our cows to look like. And so, and most of our cows do not look like this. Most of our cows are extra round, which we want that for our steers and the ones that are going to butcher because, you know, we want that extra fatness in there. That's where the taste is. I guess some of our cows actually look like this, especially our tri-herds like Gemma. You can kind of see her hips a little bit. So, something to learn. I knew that there could be fat horses, fat dogs, I knew that wasn't good. But to realize that we had fat cows, anyway, it's a process. And thank you for being with us during this process, this journey. Your support and you just being here with us, it means a lot. Having a support system, have people that are encouraging is really great. So thank you for this. And so we want more Winnies in the future. I kind of hope her daughter Willow has these big fluffy ears. At the moment she doesn't. Maybe she will later. She's cute. So anyway, we want more Winnies. See if we can get close to these calves. It's so funny. You know, when our red tag calves is what we call our first year calves. When they were first born, they were just kind of scared stiff of us. They just didn't want to be close to us. And the other cows were so much more chill. And I just thought I want to be close to, I want for them not to be so scared of us, but I guess it is what it is. But now those calves, they are, I think, year 2? I guess they're coming on 2 years, year and a half, 2 years old. They are so friendly now. They're much more willing to come up, and so that's been really nice. And so with our yellow tag calves, who are this year calves, you know, they're starting to get more friendly now. They were a lot more scared, so it's kind of nice to see that they are more accepting of us. I really like that. It's just a beginning thing. Oh, there is. So Willow's standing up. And that's Winnie's calf. And then Latte, can you see her cute little muzzle? So Latte just has this cute dark thing around her eyes and her muzzle and a little bit of her tail. And she actually might darken out. So when baby animals are born, they have their baby fur on, and that is not always the color they're gonna be. And so not only does she have baby fur, she has winter fur. So it'll be interesting to see what she ends up actually turning out. I'm sure it'll be pretty close to this, but anyway. Baby cows are cute. That's it for today. Thanks for being part of this. Thank you for taking action of your own health and getting the best food possible. And that's what we're here to do for you, is to give you the best. And we're really excited to have you along with us. It's the learning curve can be kind of hard sometimes, but it's fun to be able to learn and grow, and so excited to have you along with us on the journey. I'll talk to you tomorrow, and hope you have a wonderful day. It's pretty nice, besides being a little chilly. But anyway, have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
La 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 la.